Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome to episode number 211 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. So, taking time off is both a skill and an art. Often we feel like we're just running off, leaving things undone, hoping that no one calls us while we're gone, but realizing that because of the way things are, those emails, those calls are going to happen. Or we feel like we don't deserve to take time off until we've earned it via finishing the project or the big thing that's looming over you. So you don't ever take real breaks. We're just on this constant alert, somewhat attending to the mind that is worried about work while also trying not to. And so on today's podcast, we'll dive into not just how you can plan your work around time off, but how you can do it in a way that has you feeling like a boss. So if you're feeling anxious about taking time off, this is completely normal. There's often even anxiety around scheduling, informing, and then asking your manager or other people if it's okay for you to take this time. And even if you are an entrepreneur and you don't have anyone to report into, you'll likely feel like you're somewhat always working, as there's no clear delineation between what counts as working versus personal time. The biggest thing people do as a result of this anxiety is limiting their time off. They try not to take it. I remember when I started cycling, like road cycling years ago, and someone told me it's not if you fall, it's when. And that really changed my perspective of just thinking, okay, I just need to know and be prepared that this is going to happen. And the same thing goes for taking time off, whether it's time off from work or time off from even family life. It's not if you take time off, it's when. At some point, you need to take a break and step out of the room or the situation or the deep work you have been doing, whether it's sleep or the weekend. These are natural breaking points that we are offered. Yet the reason we feel burned out or chronically stressed and having trouble sleeping is that we're not truly resting in our minds. What happens is that when we work to the point of, I can't do this anymore, and then we pull a zip cord and we quit or we take a long leave, is that we don't know how else to do work or life but this way. So we cycle back and forth, pushing ourselves until we break and then repairing the damage. There will inevitably be a time. And I want to be clear about this because you're going to think, well, sometimes I just have no option. And you truly do have to push through a hard slog of work or a set of life demands, a personal crisis, maybe health concerns with yourself or other people around you. And you will have very little rest, very little time for yourself. And this is going to happen. Yet most of our life is not at this crisis or truly urgent level. We just act as if it is. And when those times come, you have no capacity to handle the real work of a crisis. You've topped off and completely taken every bit of energy and devoted it to overworking. And therefore, you have very little patience at home. You're irritable often with the people around you. And small things stress you out in a really big way. And this trend of workaholicism is becoming the norm, as well as an increasing rise of chronic stress. And chronic stress precipitates anxiety and depression, as well as suicidal thoughts. This is a real concern. And studies have shown that those who are dealing with anxiety and depression end up missing an average of 30 plus days of work in a year. It might not be intentional, or even on your own timeline, but you will eventually break down. Never fully resting nor fully refueling your tank is like trying to get a car to drive forever and then having to deal with it running out of gas somewhere in the middle of nowhere, really inconvenient. Maybe you have to get a tow truck to come and bring you to the gas station, or someone to come and give you gas. And it takes you way more time. And instead of taking the time to just go get gas ahead of time, this is what happens, right? So we know what that feels like. Yes, it feels inconvenient to stop. Yes, it feels like you will get more done if you keep going. Yes, there's dopamine in checking off the to-do list and reading emails. All of this is why people don't do the things that will actually create sustainable work and deep impact. When they do this kind of living, they stay at the surface level of life, and you start wondering what happens to my innate talents. Why am I feeling so mediocre at everything I'm doing right now? And this is why we're pulling the plug on this strategy of overworking. You're not going to do more work and more work with increased responsibility. That is a given. You are going to do more and more work with increased responsibility. That is a given. Unfortunately, as you move through life, it really does become more difficult. You have different sets of problems, and often the repercussions of them feel bigger. You weren't, however, supposed to use the strategies you learned as a child, a teenager, or an early adult in this new phase of life. You are going to learn more and new strategies that are appropriate for this stage of life that you're in now, with the responsibilities you have, the family you have, and the workload, the emails, and the projects and concerns that are always coming your way to be handled. So how do you do this? I'm going to share with you a few practical things to do today that will help you prepare for the time off that you will now be scheduling and taking in advance of needing it. No more breaking down on the side of the road, knowing that you're about to run out of gas. And let's save the real emergencies to be handled as they truly need to be handled. No more created emergencies that could have been avoided, or at least reducing them. So the first thing you can do is to create a list of the things you're working on and what the current status is of each one. This is for you, your team, your manager, people around you that need to know. Half of the questions and concerns and emails and all the things you start to get when you're off is because people don't know what's going on, and they need to answer questions that they're receiving about work that you're doing. This is valid. They need to know enough so that they can let you be when you're off. They're not off, you are. And this is so simple, but I have learned firsthand what it's like when you're pulling your laptop out in the middle of a trip and taking hours or half days to actually inform your manager or manage communication chains of who's doing what and when. And all of this is preventable. Again, this doesn't mean that people won't send you things because it's their time to work and you will be getting them. It means that the things that actually need to be answered because they might be time sensitive, that could have been done and dealt with before you left, will be done and dealt with before you left. The second thing to do is to schedule meetings in advance for your biggest and most time-sensitive projects. The ones that are going to have to keep moving forward even in your absence. You're not just scheduling any meetings, you're scheduling specific meetings. These are the ones where you are taking them in advance of you leaving, and then you're going to have another meeting after you return. Because the biggest questions people will have are, when do we meet next? Or what's the next step? This is why you will respond during your time off when you don't have these meetings set up, or why you will be trying to work and think about work, because even you know that you're going to think about what I need to figure out when I have this time And I'm sitting there trying to relax, and all of a sudden all those thoughts come up. And you start to remind yourself, oh my gosh, I haven't set that meeting up, or this person needs this thing and they haven't had it already scheduled in advance and they don't know when they're going to get it. Let me do it right now. All right. So schedule these meetings for before and after you return. It also sends a signal when you do this that you are planning in advance, and that is a leadership skill. It shows organization, thoughtfulness, a sense of ownership. It also helps you pace the work to when you're able to meet and when it makes the most sense for you as well. So instead of waiting for someone else to ask, and then you hastily respond and you hastily set up a meeting, you'll just do it ahead of time for when you are back. We love to be quote unquote proactive. People love us to be proactive. And we think, well, what does it mean? How do I actually get to be proactive? This is a very tactical thing. To be proactive is to schedule meetings in advance. You can even put an agenda in. That is like super bonus, because the more specific you are in your agendas, you will automatically know what you need to be doing. The person knows what needs to be covered, and you just walk into it when you come back. You don't have to spend all the time rearranging and thinking, oh, what was it that we were planning to do and talk through? You already set it all up. The third thing you want to do is to inform people in advance that you are leaving. There are a few ways to do this. You can tell people that are on your team 1 or 2 weeks in advance that you're leaving and will be out. You want to be clear about the dates of when you're leaving and when you're back. And another way to do this is to actually block the calendar so people don't try to meet with you. Another thing to do is to actually put a message in your emails ahead of time at the bottom stating that you will be out on those dates. You will be putting your autoresponder on. That's also very helpful while you're out, so that people know that you're not going to respond until a certain date. These are all simple things to do, but often people don't do this, especially the scheduling of meetings in advance and informing people. We don't do this because we're either not even aware that we can do this kind of thing, or we don't want people to notice that we're gone. And taking time off does not mean that you're not committed to your work or that you don't care. So that's one of the things. And if you try to sneak off, it will look like you're trying to sneak off. The more upfront you are with yourself, the more you will actually do the necessary things to plan your work. The more upfront you are with yourself, the more you will actually do the necessary things to plan your work around your time off. We get into more strategies when you coach with me, with the way that you're working with people and how you show up as a leader in your first 90 days or in the next level version of you. We have whole sessions dedicated to these mindset. We have whole sessions dedicated to these mindset shifts and the tangible practices, so you see your time and your expertise as being valuable and well utilized. You don't take the same tendencies and habits to your next job. It's not the job that is going to create work-life balance, it's you. So we will literally work through how to stop overworking, how to become more confident in delivering results while not bringing the stress home to your family and to your personal life. And this is the path that those that I work with take, going from overworked achiever to spiritual achiever. So if you would like to become a spiritual achiever, I invite you to watch the free training on how to stand out and lead using spiritual high performance strategies. You can go to mayamson.com/211 and go to the show notes and be able to get the link to that training. You can also apply to join my Spiritual Achiever program. We're going to create your next chapter with spiritual and high performance strategies so that you can achieve the time and financial freedom and the inner peace using my proven method. It is risk-free. You either start seeing results in your first month or I give you your money back. So schedule your call at www.mayamson.com/contact. We'll see you inside. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.